Hello, friends. Welcome to the Thinning the Veil podcast. I'm your host, Tia Smith. Um, it has been a week for sure. I am awaiting, well, I actually received results on one of the tests that I took to make sure that everything in my lungs was okay. I found out that it's not. And so I'm hoping I'm getting this out. Hopefully, I'm going to avoid hospitalization this time. Um, we'll just see what happens. Maybe it's just another set of and round of medicine, but I'm continuing to try to testify of these things. The story today is going to be at Jedidiah Grant's vision. I may have related this in a episode that I've already put out, but again, I'm going to go back and parse out some of those stories that I've already shared so that everyone has easier access to it and you don't have to comb through each episode to hear the story. I also want to just point out something really quickly. If you are watching on YouTube, there is a difference between the audio version and the video version. If you're wanting to see what's actually going on, if you will subscribe first and then go to my channel, go to the video section. And then if you will click on that, each video has two options. The first option is the full thumbnail. That is the video version. That's where you can watch and see everything that's going on. The other similar, very similar looking thumbnail that only fills up half the screen is the audio version only. So that's how you can kind of differentiate between the two. Thank you for everyone that's supporting the channel. If you feel like you want to donate, all the links are in the description. I actually use the description to get out a lot of information, whether it is a link to the sources that I'm using, or a link to my social media accounts, or a link to the different places that donations can be given. Venmo, PayPal. There's also, if you go to my website, you can donate monthly, just a small amount every month. And I promise you 100% it helps, even if it's like $3. Like I've said before, this is a mountain that I'm trying to climb. And while it seems a little daunting, it really helps to know that other people are involved in the process as well. So, with that being said, I'm going to get right into the story, knowing that Friday is going to be a talk by Neil A. Maxwell. And then next week is launch time, and I'm so excited. So hopefully my health holds out and all will be well in Zion, and we'll just keep moving forward in the work because we don't have a lot of time to get this work done before the Savior comes. So I'm going to preface this with Jedidiah M. Grant. This was in 1856, just prior to his death. He received a vision of the spirit world. Now, it wasn't necessarily related to the public by Jedidiah M. Grant. It was related at his funeral by Heber C. Kimball. And there's a little preface to it, and I will include the link in the description where you can go read it yourself. But it talks about Heber C. Kimball's first reasoning why he would share Jedidiah's vision. It says, I went to see him one day last week, and he reached out his hand and shook hands with me. He could not speak, but he shook hands warmly with me. I felt for him and wanted to raise him up and to have him stay and help us whip the devils and bring to pass righteousness. Why? Because he was valiant, and I loved him. He was a great help to us, and you would be, if you were as valiant as he was, which you can be through faithfulness and obedience. I laid my hands upon him and blessed him and asked God to strengthen his lungs. Sorry. That's obviously tender for me for obvious reasons. I laid my hands upon him and blessed him and asked God to strengthen his lungs that he might be easier. And in 2 or 3 minutes, he raised himself up and talked for about an hour as busily as he could. telling me what he had seen and what he understood until I was afraid he would weary himself when I arose and left him. He said to me, Brother Heber, I've been into the spirit world 2 nights in succession, and of all the dreads that ever came across me, the worst was to have to again return to my body, though I had to do it. But oh, says he, the order and government that were there, when in the spirit world I saw the order of righteous men and women, beheld them organized in their several grades, and there appeared to be no obstruction to my vision. I could see every man and woman in their grade and order. I looked to see whether there was any disorder there, but there was none. Neither could I see any death, nor any darkness, disorder, or confusion. He said that the people he saw there were organized in family capacities. And when he looked at them, he saw grade after grade, and all were organized and in perfect harmony. He would mention one item after another and say, Why, it is just as Brother Brigham says it is. It is just as he has told us many a time. That is a testimony as to the truth of what Brigham teaches us, and I know it's true from what little light I have. He saw the righteous gathered together in the spirit world, and there were no wicked spirits among them. He saw his wife. She was the first person that came to him. He saw many that he knew, but did not have conversation with any except his wife, Caroline. She came to him, and he said that she looked beautiful and had their little child that died on the plains in her arms, and said, Mr. Grant, here's little Margaret. You know that the wolves ate her up, but it did not hurt her. Here she is all right. To my astonishment, he said, when I looked at families, there was a deficiency in some. There was a lack, for I saw families that would not be permitted to come and dwell together because they had not honored their calling here. He asked his wife Caroline where Joseph and Hiram and Father Smith and others were. She replied, They have gone away ahead to perform and transact business for us. The same as when Brother Brigham and his brethren left winter quarters and came here to search out a home. They came to find a location for their brethren. He also spoke of the buildings he saw there, remarking that the Lord gave Solomon wisdom and poured gold and silver into his hands that he might display his skill and ability, and said that the temple erected by Solomon was much inferior to the most ordinary buildings he saw in the spirit world. In regards to gardens, says Brother Grant, I have seen good gardens on this earth, but I have never saw any to compare with those that were there. I saw flowers of numerous kinds, and some with from 50 to 100 different colored flowers growing upon one stalk. We have many kinds of flowers on earth, and I suppose that those very articles came from heaven, or they would not be here. After mentioning the things that he had seen, he spoke of how much he disliked to return and resume his body after having seen the beauty and glory of the spirit world, where the righteous spirits are gathered together. Some may marvel at my speaking about these things, for many profess to believe that we have no spiritual existence. But do you not believe that my spirit was organized before it came here to my body? And do you not think there can be houses and gardens, fruit trees, and every other good things there? The spirits of those things were made, as well as our spirits, and it follows that they can exist upon the same principle. After speaking of the gardens and the beauty of everything there, Brother Grant said that he felt extremely sorrowful at having to leave so beautiful a place and come back to earth, for he looked upon his body with loathing, but was obliged to enter it again. He said that after he came back, he could look upon his family and see the spirit that was in them, and the darkness that was in them, and that he conversed with them about the gospel and what they should do, and they replied, Well, Brother Grant, perhaps it is so, and perhaps it is not, and said that was the state of this people to a great extent, for many are full of darkness and will not believe me. This is an extraordinary visit to the spirit world that Jedidiah was able to see and participate in. There have been countless testimonies of the spirit world and what's going on in the spirit world. And President Grant's is another drop in that bucket to add to those testimonies that God is in the details, that we have been placed here for a purpose, and that the world to come is glorious. I, for one, appreciate and really cherish this story as it gives me a better view of where my loved ones are and what they are doing and in what circumstances they find themselves in on the other side of the veil. I hope that this story will help you in whatever way you need, whatever lifting is required in your life at this time. Our mortal existence is just but a minute. And when we have proven ourselves and have done all the work that God has required us to do, we will find ourselves in a place that tongue cannot describe. And I, for one, my friends, am looking forward to that day for so many reasons. Thanks for joining me. Join me tomorrow for Elder Maxwell's talk, and then next week, all the fun starts happening. Have a great day. Bye.